Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our first podcast. And today, me as a host, and by this house, we are joined by Lyson, Muse, and Beard, who we will have some discussion with about things that happened last year, things we're looking forward to for next year, and so on. So, yeah, let's get into it. Okay, we can basically start.
Hey,
So, hello, everyone, again.
hello.
Hello,
Hello.
humans.
Hello.
So, how has everyone been during Old Year's Eve, New Year's Eve?
Pretty chill.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually didn't do too much, to be honest. Well, we watched some TV and stuff, but nothing really, I should say, too special.
I've been watching TV, set off some fireworks.
I've actually had I stayed awake till 1 because I knew that then it would be Byte's New Year. So I went and chat together
Aww.
with Diona and had a chat with him until like 12 o'clock this time.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. My parents are already asleep in the next room after. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, looking back to 2020. Yeah, that's gonna be a big one. Let's just start with Byte's look on how you think 2020 went for you.
Well, I suppose the same for a lot of people, really. It was kind of all over the place.
Yeah,
That's for
Um,
sure.
I mean, you did change, or you got less hours now in your job.
yeah, going down to part time, I was hoping was going to be better than the reality of the situation, giving me more time to stream and so forth. But yeah, it didn't quite turn out that way. Um,
Yeah.
but hopefully, a new outlook
Hey,
will
Zelicon, very
change that,
welcome.
and a new attitude towards things will probably help me with that.
Yeah. And I know that Beard actually did change his job.
Yes. And that was the best thing about this year at all.
Yeah.
Well, because it was basically the only thing that happened to me this year. That much.
Yeah. And apart from that, you've been kind of hooked lately on Elite Dangerous.
Yes, that game is just amazing.
Like, I've noticed that during 2020, a lot of the more chill games got really popular if you're looking at things like, of course, Animal Crossing being such a major hype last year. I don't know if it would have been such a big hype if it wasn't for Corona.
Well, it probably would, as it's a game which was not working that much about its own quality than the quality of the predecessor games, the games that had been before, which lots of current boomers been playing when they were kids, so they would probably buy it now.
Yeah, that's one way to put it, I guess. And how about you, Muse? What do you think are the most important things for you about 2020?
Let's see. It has been a very, very tough year, but that's because of my education.
Hmm.
So most of all, it's just been tough to get through my internship. Like there was the half of a year spent of that. So what do you know? It feels quite a bit,
Yeah.
and I just kind of weird to say, but I just had to completely reinvent the way I do my studies, and it's been very useful. Like personal growth, yes.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, man, it has been hard.
Yeah, and I guess the biggest thing for me personally was that, as many of you know, that I broke up with my ex girlfriend, which a lot of people, I guess, were already kind of hoping for. Not
It's,
gonna
I
lie.
was it's sad when you say it
I
like that.
was about to applaud and
Yeah.
start being happy, but I was like, okay, that's disrespectful. But I'm like, fuck yeah,
That sounds like lies.
Yeah.
bitch
But
had to go.
yeah, sold the house, got a new job, and I do enjoy this job a lot. I got a very very large, I guess, Christmas box with like all stuff in it. Considering that it's probably a gift that they gave for Christmas that's over $100, I thought it was pretty considerate for someone who's only been working there for 2 months.
Mm.
But yeah, I think
Yeah, for sure.
overall, if I look back at the same time at 2020 or 2020, I am a lot happier now than I was a year ago, and that is something for me personally that I think I needed, and that's shown for myself that I've made a lot of growth.
Nice.
And I know for Lyson that she also has gotten herself a new relationship.
Oh my.
Yes. Basically, COVID started acting up in the Netherlands, and at that point, I met a guy. We started liking each other. We started talking way too much, and it was a bit difficult at first because we couldn't really meet up because his parents were in the risk group. But at one point, we were like, okay, you know what? We're just gonna meet. Let's see how it goes, and we've been together since.
Yeah, of
Going on
course.
for 8 months now.
Of course, good stuff happened, bad stuff happened. I mean, we also do know that you sadly had to say goodbye to your old dog, which is
Yes.
not the easiest thing.
No, no, I actually cried about it again like a few days ago. I was
mm,
like bawling. I was breaking down again.
I mean, I think a
Like,
lot of people that do not have that much with pets fail to realize that for pet owners, pets become just like family. Like if they die, you cry. If they are happy, you can be happy. If you feel that they are sick, you want to help them. You know, it's
yeah.
yeah,
And
Hell, I
when,
shed a tear. It's not even my dog.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, when
Hey,
she passed
Sammy,
away, it
welcome.
definitely put me in a grief state. And I'm still grieving about it. Like, it's such a shame. She was so amazing. Basically, everybody that was on Discord with
Yeah,
me, who would game with me, knew my dog.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely, yeah, I don't know, a roller coaster year. Like at one point I'm feeling amazing, at the other point I'm definitely breaking down.
Yeah, I think it's not been an easy year for multiple factors, of course. There is the whole Corona business, which we cannot forget. But apart from that, there's been a lot of stuff going around that is not just Corona related. Like I say, yes, jobs get lost and jobs get gained, which can happen due to Corona. In my case, it sadly was the case. But I know that a lot of people have also changed their job or have gotten around to putting more effort or time into their job and actually advancing in their jobs because of working from home and just being able to get into your own zone a bit more when you're working from home.
Yeah, that's the ideal, isn't it?
Yeah. And of course, yeah, I think if I look at the last couple months of the year, I've gotten a new relationship, and Liza knows this. It's actually someone that I've met or that I know now for 7 years, one of my best friends, that I actually got into a relationship with, and that I'm
Yeah.
now very happy with. And sometimes you will
Oh my.
and sometimes tonight you probably will hear her giggle on the background because she's watching a comedy show. But
Ah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, she has my stamp of approval. Yeah, for
yeah,
the people that don't know, me and Shadow know each other for quite a while. We've also met up quite sometimes. We hung out a couple of times, and yeah, I know his girl, and she's amazing.
yeah, yeah. I think there's a lot to look back to in 2020, but it's also important to look ahead to 2021. For me, my personal goal to kick it off would be hopefully that around this time next year I will have my contracts without time, so
Mm.
that I don't have to job hop anymore. That would be very nice. And yeah, I just want to keep the same level of happiness that I have at this point, because I think at this point I'm happy. I'm doing good for myself, and if I can keep this up, then I will be happy. And yeah, I hope that everyone can just stay healthy and we don't have to deal with too many more losses.
Philosophical.
Anyone else wanna go first with continuing on that?
I mean, sure. Basically, my personal goal for 2020 is to drink more.
2021, I
For
guess.
2020.
2021. 2021. I'm sorry. Still
Still
gotta
have
get
to get
used
used
to
to it,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, like I was that kid in school who still wrote the wrong year for like 3 months after. But yeah, for 2021, I'm gonna drink more and be less around my toxic family and actually try to break contact with them fully.
It would be
Yeah,
nice if it wasn't so sad.
yeah, but
No, it's
like
actually it's not even sad anymore. At this point, I'm just deciding like, hey,
if it's better
I'm
for
gonna
you,
choose my own life.
yeah,
I'm not gonna be influenced by them all the time anymore, and I'm choosing me.
yeah, and
That's what
like
I'm doing.
exactly like if you feel like it makes you a better person, then they should theoretically, in my opinion, not have that much of a problem with it. Of course, it's sad if you think about it, not seeing your family, talking less with them. But if it makes you a better person, then I don't think it's a bad thing to do necessarily.
Exactly.
Completely agreed about that.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
people have to choose for their own happiness, and that's what I'm doing.
exactly. Which is exactly why I made the decisions I did last year.
Exactly.
Excellent.
And how are things looking forward for you, Muse? 2021.
And I thought this year was hard. Fuck me.
Yeah,
Oh my god. 2021 is gonna tear my fucking teeth out by the root.
why?
And like the worst is it's by my own fucking choice. It is like this, but fuck me. It's gonna be tough. Okay. Here's the thing.
Yeah,
Like I went through my second internship was this half a year serenade, and it has been tough as hell. Now in the ending of this year, I'm gonna have to go through the third internship, which is like this one, but harder. And on top of that, in the November here of 21, I am going to start my campaign, or rather, the runoff to the campaign of getting into the city council of my local area is off, and I am in that race.
oh god.
So I'm going to be in
Oh god.
the third internship
Oh.
on top of the the actual early life of my political career.
Another nut job with power. Jesus.
God, just give it to me, man. You know it's already too late.
Yeah, yeah. And how about you, Bite? What are your plans? Or great ideals?
I think that my priority at the moment is to sort my shit out basically, be a little bit more organized, sort out my own IRL schedule, which I'm hoping will in turn lead to a streaming schedule so that I can be a little bit more, as I say, organized about what I do and where I'm going and stuff like that. So work stuff aside, I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know how long or how much longer I'll be there.
Hmm.
Certainly kind of looking to move into another opportunity. We'll put it that way. But yeah, kind of focusing more on the stuff that makes me happy, and getting comfortable in the new house and getting stuff like this week, putting up shelves and making sure the fence is fixed and
Yeah.
all that funky stuff that comes with home ownership, which is to me the priority.
Yeah. And like I do hope on top of that that 2021 will be a year in which we can make great strides against the coronavirus, with which we can probably at some point see each other again, because that has been something that I've been missing last year, of course.
Yeah,
That
that would
I
be
have
really
not been
nice.
Yeah,
able to really meet up with people. Like I would love to go back to England and take the honor with me and meet up with Byte and with the other people that I know from England. That would
I just
be
live
an
with a
amazing
bunch of
thing.
Muppets.
Hello, can I be kidnapped to England?
Her license is just gonna be in the suitcase.
can
Yeah.
I be a suitcase in that case?
To be fair, at this
Not
point,
a large one, but yeah.
I'd much more be advocating us coming over to you guys.
Oh, fair
This
enough.
this doesn't seem to show any signs of stopping in this case.
Yeah.
People weren't, by and large, the population weren't paying the attention that they should have done, which is why everyone's moved up a tier now. Um, and I think people not giving a shit before, now they've heard, oh, the vaccine's on its way, it's coming through. People are now giving less of a shit.
Yeah.
I heard today that people were having New Year's Eve parties,
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
with massive groups, and the police were finding some of them and finding some of them, but imagine all of the other stuff that has gone by the wayside. So you look at the relaxation of the rules over the Christmas period, the knock-on effect that that's going to have. Not to mention like the uni students going back and mixing with the general populace and the effect that has. Then you've got on top of that the New Year's Eve parties that are going to obviously spread. The last time I checked, we had an R number of 1.3. So I wouldn't be surprised if we come back to it later on this week and we find 1.5, 1.6. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, before getting into
Yeah.
Corona too much more, we did forget to ask Beers, what are you looking forward to 2021?
This year, the bird will become Mr. Krabs because he needs to collect enough money to be able to actually make my flat that I bought this year, collecting all the money for the life that I had before, just so that I could make the bloody room livable. Because now it is still building, but in the end of the year, if everything is gonna be all right, I'll be able to move there.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah,
Then we
that's
can
good.
visit. Then we can visit
Yes,
Berit.
yes.
Yeah, then we
But
just,
you can
when Bite
actually
comes over
visit
to the
me even now.
Netherlands,
We just
If
all
you-
go
to Ukraine.
Muse and Beard. We're gonna pick up Muse on the way.
Yeah,
Road trip.
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah, you have currently no restrictions except for the corona restrictions for movement to Ukraine.
And now how to set off two people at once. If we're gonna pick up Muse, we're gonna have to learn Swedish, and if we want to pick up Beard, we have to learn Russian.
Don't you dare
Not
say that.
Russian. Never say that
Does
again.
that on purpose. I know it. This is scum.
If
Nah.
you learn Russian, you won't survive here for long. Especially with me.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Even my Russian-speaking friends start speaking Ukrainian when I'm in the room.
Okay. Well, yeah. I guess next up, the very big thing that has happened 2020 and is going to continue in 2021. Coronavirus. Yeah,
yes.
it has
Coronavirus.
developed way beyond scale that we can manage. We've soaked millions and millions into it. And the first estimate, I think it was for a vaccine, would have been mid-2021. And now some countries have already begun with doing the vaccinations, which is, I think, a great stride, of course, from everyone across the world. All scientists, all developers, like everyone who helped.
Surprise. Science gets funded and shit gets done, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But I guess most importantly, what does everyone think about the vaccines and the way that countries are going about them? Because I know that here, for some reason, out of all countries in the EU, the Netherlands has decided to start after the 7th of January, whereas all the other countries have started after the 24th or 25th of December. So we
Yeah.
basically delayed by 2 weeks for some
Yeah.
reason.
We're gonna be the last ones.
Yeah, exactly. And I, for one, am someone that wants to get vaccinated. I do want to see if there's anything in it that I cannot handle due to my allergies and stuff. But apart from that, I am fully convinced that by getting vaccinated, it will help me with, not having to be afraid all the time anymore with, parents that are in the risk group and kind of stuff. Sometimes it feels scary to go around. And I did realize that very so much when my parents had to go in for testing 2 weeks back. And that actually scared the living hell out of me. Because I thought, what if they get, a positive back, I would lose my shit. I didn't sleep well for a couple of days,
Yeah.
So I'm for sure on the side that will get vaccinated, and I do think that by doing so, as a country, as worldwide nation of people, we can start beating this.
Yep, we can start beating Corona, but there is a small issue. Just a little one.
A little one?
Just a small one. In South Africa, a new strain of coronavirus had been found which is immune to the vaccine. To this one, currently. Also, the quality of testing is just godlike. on some news, I just went through the tweet and I saw in Bundestag, one of the representatives made a corona test for the Coca-Cola, and it was positive.
What the
Yeah,
hell?
that's a lot.
Bloody hell, what?
So they poured Coca-Cola on it.
Yep.
Wow.
And it said that Coca-Cola had corona.
Oh,
Yeah, that's one of the several things that really, really is problematic about this whole we gotta do everything to stop Corona thing we got going, and that is that the testing is actually pretty mediocre in precision.
It's
And
not
that's-
even
and that happens
mediocre.
very
It is
in quite a lot
poor.
of
It
places.
is very poor.
For the impact it has, there should have been a lot more testing going on, but they just want to get rid of it so badly that they're rushing things.
yeah, but I mean, go ahead, start testing people who actually go to the grocery store. Because yesterday I was at the grocery store, it was insane.
Yeah.
Like the entire parking lot was filled. Everybody was just waiting to grab a card to be able to go inside. Like people would come out with their cars, they could barely get their own groceries out
Oh yeah.
because other people were rushing to get that card. And I
Yeah.
mean, if you start testing people there, it's
Oh,
not gonna
man.
be pretty, but it is gonna help.
Yeah, because like one thing that I have noticed, like there is a store here which is like let's give an estimate of 30 meters by 20 meters, right? So it's a pretty large size store, right? But still, you have to imagine there are of course the inside of the store it's full with groceries, and then I saw a sign outside. Due to Corona regulations, there's only 150 people allowed inside at the same time.
What?
And that shocked me. I was like, how are 150 people allowed inside the same grocery store when
Yeah.
this is such a big problem? Like, I wouldn't even feel safe if there were 50 inside the stall, let alone 150. Luckily, that's a store where at most like 15 people are inside, But so it shocked me that was their rule.
But just make it simple. Everybody who wants to go to the supermarket gets this massive swab up their nose each time they come. And I wonder how many of those people go, do you know what? I don't need that today, or I can order that online. It'll be fine.
Exactly. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but then that would mean that people would start staying home.
yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly what we need because yesterday I saw a video of Wuhan. Yeah, the place we all know now.
yeah, the
Yes,
news channel.
China.
yeah.
The communism.
People were partying. They were standing cramped up with like thousands of them. They haven't had a COVID case since May because they went on a full lockdown as soon as it started happening. And then you have countries like the one I'm living in who's just like, no, go ahead and do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
And then you get this shit where we are almost stuck for a year.
yeah,
We've been stuck for a year, and like for me, I normally sit at home and don't do shit. But it is nice though. I'm starting to miss simple things like, okay, let's just go to the pool, let's go swimming, hey, let's go to the movie theaters. Like I'm not a I'm not a party person. I like fuck parties, but it's the little things that I start missing now. And I mean, I've been sitting at my ass in my house for 5 years. If I start feeling uh how do you say it, like cut off from the normal social life, then what about people that actually had a social life?
yeah. That's a valid
The
point.
only way
Like,
out.
I think like me and Lyson, we live in the same country. We had this incident. I think 2 days ago on the 30th. A party got rolled up where more than 100 people were there. And when the police actually contacted the owner of the building, he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get them out. He was
Yeah.
just sick of it as well. And then military unit got dispatched to that area to get the people out.
Excuse me, a literal military unit.
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus.
Because they got there with the cops. But yeah, 100 people that are all resisting, So at some point it was just like, we're just gonna use tear gas, get them the fuck out, because they just wouldn't leave. And a lot of them actually got fined. A lot of them actually got arrested, and yeah, like it's just crazy. Like there are people who are like very much outgoing, and they just can't stand this sitting home for such a long time and not being able to do stuff. Like they are used to meeting people every day, going to parties every day on the weekends, and now that they can't, they just lose control.
That's for sure.
But
But
yeah,
even in such horrible times, there still were people who were smart enough to make monies. For example, in Italy, during the harshest lockdown, a new service had been created, a dog for rent, where you could rent a dog and walk it because restrictions were so made such that you could still walk your dog, but still, other than that, you should stay at home.
It was ridiculous sometimes, wasn't it? Was it in Britain where someone called the police? I think it was in Scotland actually, or Wales, whatever. Someone called the police and asked if they could walk their dog, and they were told no.
what the hell?
Jesus.
Like, it's like, what do you mean?
That goes way too far.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a video of a guy in a bush costume just running around the city. Oh. Let me just find it.
Yeah, but yeah, going down the list. When you guys feel that vaccinations come, and let's say they do improve on what they have right now, which isn't a bad, I would say first concept, but I think it's too early. That's just my opinion. But will you get vaccinated?
Well, for me, probably not. And that's basically because of the way the vaccination apparently seems to function. Like, you can get vaccinated and it will immunize you towards the harsher symptoms, but you can still spread the virus. And so in that case, like, it doesn't really help me much. Like, I'm not in any sort of risk from the virus itself. That's why it's also reasonable why the people that are vulnerable to it or people that need to be in the face of it gets vaccinated, fair enough. But vaccinating all the people that have like what? No, basically no chance to actually be seriously ill from this doesn't seem to make too much sense.
I get what you're saying, but at the same
Yeah, I
time,
see your
I
point.
think like
Yeah.
if everyone thinks like, oh, I should not get vaccinated, then doesn't this just keep going as an endless spiral? Whereas if we do get vaccinated, let's say that half of the country gets vaccinated, doesn't that mean that half of the country is technically at that point,
Superior.
superior?
Arian,
Yes, in
No,
some way they
we're
are.
not
'Cause
going that route.
no. In some case, it is the correct naming because those people, they can go to places without immediately worrying like, oh, I'm gonna get vaccinated, and let's say that the people around them are vaccinated as well, they would have no fear of spreading it to the ones they love, right?
they do.
They can still carry it,
Yes.
but if
They can still
all
spread
those
the
people
information.
are vaccinated around them, then the people who are really in risk at that point are people who do not want to get vaccinated.
Okay, the contamination of this virus we have to consider also alongside the way of the masks because now we're playing in the same ball field here. The mask does not protect you from being infected if someone is in your vicinity that has the virus because it can also get through your eyes and all that shit. But it does limit the amount of spread that you do yourself. On the other hand, the vaccine doesn't stop you from spreading it, but it does greatly reduce your chance of getting the horrible symptoms of it that has killed a few hundred people here and there. So like vaccinating a bunch of people doesn't stop the virus from spreading between them.
No, but then again, like I'm really simple in this matter. Like for fuck's sake, just put the needle in my arm. Like I don't care. Uh, no, just for an example, yeah.
Mm.
Me and Shadow get vaccinated. You don't get vaccinated, Muse.
Yeah.
The three of us go out to theme park.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be worried because I'm gonna be infected, but whatever, it's not gonna be as bad. But
Yeah.
then again, because I'm vaccinated and you chose not to get vaccinated, I'm not gonna worry about infecting you either,
No.
because that has been your decision. And what I'm wondering in this conversation is, have you had COVID?
No.
No. See, I have. I've been infected with COVID in February. I don't know if maybe some of you guys remember. Basically, in February, I wasn't really able to game. I was able to sit up for like half an hour and then I would complain about the pain and I was feeling sick and I would go back to bed. That lasted for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
At that moment, I had COVID. And I mean, I'm 26. No, I'm not the healthiest person in the world, but I'm like a weed. Like you can't get rid of me that
Thanks
easily.
for the follow, Sky Canova. I hope you're enjoying the stream.
And the sickness did get me really hard. So if you haven't been infected with it, I would strongly suggest to get vaccinated because you don't know how you're gonna respond.
True.
Yeah, also speaking about the corona at all and what is so special about it. At least from what I heard and what I saw, it actually affects most, not even people who are old, people who has some chronic diseases, but the people who has weak organs. For example, one very famous case, at least in Ukraine, there were a sportsman who had like almost on Olympic Games, but he died in 2 weeks because he had a weak heart.
Hmm.
Because basically corona just hyperactivates your immune system and it starts eating yourself a bit more than usually when you have just a regular flu.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that's how we actually chose the risk groups here in the Netherlands. Old people, which is like common sense because old people have the immune system of a
Old
snail.
people.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
And people who have like heart disease, because yeah, just like you said, the organs, they're gonna give up.
Yeah.
Like today, my new year started with a text message from a really good friend of mine who actually told me like, yeah, um, someone dear to him passed away last night
Shit.
Mm,
thanks to COVID.
I think I know. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, that's really like, okay, I'm done with this shit. Like, if people, one of my friends told me, like, yeah, I don't want to get vaccinated because I don't know what they're putting in me. I was
Oh,
like, you
bloody
eat,
hell.
I was like, you eat food. You eat food. You don't know what food is nowadays anymore. We
Oh,
worked around that
the
so
hot
much.
dog.
Food isn't normal food.
You drink sugar-free soda? I dare you to say you drink sugar-free soda.
Yeah. Like, come on, people who are like, I don't know what's in it. I don't know what it's gonna do with me on the long term. Okay, then stop eating and drinking
Yeah.
To be fair, that is still true.
because, yeah, but it's toxic.
I, I,
Everything we eat and drink is toxic as well.
I think
The
we
air we start
still.
breathing is toxic as well.
I think what I can tell from this at least is I know for our side, me and Lyson for sure will get vaccinated. The people around me I know will get vaccinated. The mutual friend that me and Lyson have will for sure also get vaccinated. Musa said no for now at least. Maybe
Yeah.
when the
You say
vaccine
I'm in
improves.
no rush for it.
Yeah, but
Say it like that.
that's something else, right? But
Yeah, I'm
let's
not gonna
say
be front of the line either.
no,
Like,
but
"Yay!"
if the vaccine improves and it becomes to a point where it's reliable, like let's say 98% of people who get the vaccine have not even any side effects, then I'm like, sign me up. Because I do think already it is pretty good. It can still get improved on, yes. But by no means do I think that I am someone that would say, when the time comes, I would say, yeah, no, thanks.
Okay,
know.
Pointing on the vaccines part, no one has died from it yet, so I think that's a good start.
Yeah. And
Exactly. And I mean, if you guys would feel safer to know, like, okay, Lyson got vaccinated first. Let's ask how she's doing. I mean, I'm open for that.
yeah.
I'll document my life for you if that's what you need. Except for
So
some small ooh la la bits, but
yeah. So
Yeah, keep that. Yeah, that's
so Beard and Bite, how are you two feeling as when the time comes for you to get
Well,
vaccinated?
for me personally, it is quite a complicated question, as Ukraine, in infinite wisdom, decided to buy vaccines from China.
Yes, infinite wisdom, truly, truly.
Infinite wisdom. The country that faked for 2 months that they had no corona, giving virus the time to spread. Now, openly saying that corona came from Italy. Yeah, they actually do write it in their magazines, official. Like, let me remember the Red Star or something like that. They say that corona came from Italy.
Okay.
The country that took the bought all the masks from the open markets just later to sell it back to the people with a higher price. It's just mental.
Yeah.
China.
But apart from that, let's say you get the same vaccines as the rest of the world gets. Let's say it's not the Chinese one, right?
If it is a Dutch one or the one from Germany, I'm taking it without any questions. Russian, never. Because it is literally not a vaccine. It's
It's basically
I
just a
can still
soda.
describe it. It's more than a soda. Soda won't kill you.
Just your
And
teeth.
as for bite, when the time arises,
Well, I at the beginning of 2020, I had the worst chest infection I've ever had in my life.
yeah,
Similar to the symptoms that Lyson was describing, I couldn't move, I couldn't lie down, I couldn't breathe. I had to physically force air in and out of my lungs until I got given Ventolin inhalers. Now that I'm feeling better, I still have real problems breathing all the time. To the point where I'm supposed to be going through investigation for asthma, but with everything else that's going on, this is taking a back seat. So, I'm just kind of letting it go at the moment. But as far as the vaccine is concerned, I'm not even considered in one of the above normal categories of vulnerable people. So I will be kind of mid to end of the queue for when it finally comes out. Having said that, the way that the NHS have dealt with the flu vaccine this year, I was very, very surprised. I got a text message, I replied, got an appointment booked. I was there for about a minute and a half. I was in, stuck, out, gone. If it works like that, then yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to go with the vaccination. Um, you know, at the end of the day, it's not necessarily about me as a person. It's about everybody else.
keeping the people safe.
This is why I have been self isolating. Well, I have been sat at home and I've been contacting as few people as possible since March. So
Yeah,
yeah, when the time comes and I get a text message going, "Come and have the COVID vaccine," I'll be like, "Yeah, sure, why not? Let's get it out
yeah.
of the way."
Give me the good shit.
I guess like when it's my time, and I suppose that's gonna be like not even within the first 4 months of this year. So let's just keep it on June. I think by then, if I look at how fast the vaccine has been going for now, right, with it becoming better and better and better, I think by the time that it's my turn to get vaccinated, the vaccine will be considerably better, and I will feel no risk to take it, and I will actually feel safer after doing it. That's at least my personal feeling to it.
Yeah.
Anyone
Also, speaking,
want something else to add in the whole Corona talk?
yeah, I actually had this little question to you all. Speaking about this corona, just remind me, what is the dumbest thing that you heard about corona during the lockdown?
Oh, the dumbest thing, as
Yes.
like
Apart from
that.
idiots walking through the supermarket licking cans off the shelf. That's one of the most stupid things I've heard.
Yeah, points, points. You got. There's a.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
like
hard.
that,
Hard to beat.
or like the fact that some people are afraid to take vaccines because they think that they would have nanomachines.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Bill Gates is trying to categorize everybody
Yes,
in the
yes.
world, starting with Africa,
Oh,
right?
hold on, guys.
Anonymous
I
seeds.
got it. I got it.
Yeah,
Did you
sure.
need to drink the anti-disinfectant?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm drinking the
Oh,
disinfectant
Yeah.
stuff. I- That must be the dumbest one I've heard.
Oh,
And I mean, it's no surprise who came up
No,
with it.
I also now have a good one actually. What the biggest irony in this whole stuff that has happens that everyone can think of, for me personally, it will forever be Trump saying that corona vaccine is not that bad, it's not a big deal, and you can just kiss everyone and you can hug everyone and you will not get it,
Coronavirus,
and then he
yeah.
gets it.
Yeah. You
And I
took
still,
vaccine, so I was like, huh?
and I still think that's just hilarious. And then
that
Yeah.
reminds me. That reminds me. The religious leaders,
yeah,
the Orthodox, the Jewish ones, that said that coronavirus been caused by homosexuality.
Classic.
Very next day after this thing, he got hospitalized with corona. Multiple
Bruh.
people did. Just like,
Wild
well,
shit, man.
Bruh. Okay, yeah. Let's slowly move on from the whole corona deal.
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly switch to my phone. I'll mute at first, and I'll only talk when
Yeah.
necessary because
We'll
people
start with
watching.
we'll start with Bite for the next subject,
Yeah,
which I know he
mean,
has done some prep work for as well. So
I got his
You say
laptop.
that.
Okay, be right back then.
yeah. Well, yeah. The next one would be some of the biggest games that we think from 2020, and I know that Biden and I have mostly similar thoughts of this. And biggest game is unrelated to if they are also the best game of 2020. That's a subject that comes after this. But just in general, the biggest games of 2020.
Obviously, this is open to interpretation based on what your opinion of the best game is. And
So
this is
let-
something-
Suck.
So
Yeah.
let's start with you with the biggest games of 2020. And then everyone can add if they have something to add.
Again, there are a number of reasons why you could call it the best game. I can think of 3 or 4 or 5 different reasons personally off the bat. Something like one of the best games for me this year coming out is Doom Eternal, something that I've been looking forward to playing
Yeah,
for
and
a
it's-
long while.
And it is also one of the biggest games. So
Yeah.
that falls into the category biggest games that we're doing.
And I've managed to play it. I've played about 3 or 4 hours on stream that people have seen, and lots of swearing has been happening. I've been thoroughly enjoying it. And then you've got things like Half-Life Alyx. Dependent upon your viewpoint on virtual reality and which camp you sit in, and whether you think the game is good or bad or particularly mainstream, it is something that has had one of the most impact for the VR community. Not to mention the connotations with Half-Life 3.
Don't say it. Don't even say it.
And then, of course, if we're looking at the biggest games, we cannot forget the rise this year of indie game developers. If you look at
yeah.
games like Among Us, which has blown up on Twitch, if you look
Yeah.
at Fall Guys and the success that Fall Guys has gotten into, like, they've done things this year that are just incredible.
Have they recovered?
Well, they still have a pumping community. Like, I know Fall Guys has taken a hit, and Among Us never really took a hit. They are still going strong
They are
as
still
ever.
growing.
But Fall Guys, even though they had a good start and they then fell off a bit, they are consistently now pumping out new content, new maps, new creative way to draw people in, and every season is something different. So they keep adding on the base that they had from season 1.
So we're talking about like amazing games that came out last year.
Yeah, last year, the biggest games of 2020.
Planet Zoo coming in there, boys.
Oh,
Hell yeah!
speaking of that, thanks to Epic, I now own a beautiful game called the Jurassic Park. I can actually build my own zoo with dinosaurs.
Yeah, I bought a game for
Oh.
license during Christmas for $5.
Hell yeah! It was my Christmas gift. I mean, oof. I've
Yeah,
already bought
and-
DLCs because.
Let's say some more of the big games. For me, because I am a Final Fantasy fanboy, I would say that the launch of Final Fantasy VII Remake, that was huge. Like, I saw that game getting played so much. I saw a lot of reactions from people that used to play it in their youth. I think that game is definitely on the chart of one of the biggest games of 2020.
Hell yeah!
And yeah, one that Byte has personally not played, but I know his wife has played a shit ton of on the Switch. How can we forget
Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing on the Switch? Man, has that game had a good start.
Nice.
I'm just gonna avoid the fact that Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing came almost at the same time.
They
And
did came out
they
at the same
were
time.
specifically released to compete with each other. Absolutely.
Yes, yes, and the fan art from that was amazing to see.
Oh yeah, top notch.
Yes.
Top-notch fan art.
songs. Mwah.
And then, of course, if we're looking at games online that just keep continuing, this year I think the newest DLC for World of Warcraft came out, Shadowlands. Of course, Final Fantasy XIV Online is still going strong with their Shadowbringers DLC and just keeping expanding on the base that they had. So they've been doing awesome as well.
Let me just quickly nerd over Season 11 in League of Legends.
Yeah.
It has a lot of people that are actually raging because the balance is completely off. There are no
And-
items.
The mythic apocalypse.
And for me, actually, League of Legends is one of the games that I would call still the biggest games of 2020 in surprise-wise, because they are one of the games, together with Rainbow Six Siege and some other of the esports, that actually managed to find a way to keep going with esports, to keep
Yes.
hosting tournaments, and just go forward instead of being beaten by this coronavirus.
You've also just noted two of the most toxic games I've ever played as well.
Yeah, but you still have
completely
to
true, but-
respect them, because they are still going strong. They keep innovating. They keep going along, and every year, even if it's a small change, they keep the game fresh.
I know
You
there's a
reminded
couple
me of
playing
the
it
best
right
games
now.
that came this year. Crusader Kings 3.
Ah, yes, the beard
Yes.
nerd.
The Beard game.
Yeah.
I actually got a message saying, yeah, Planet Zoo got released in 2019. That's true.
But it's
But
got a
in-
lot of recognition in 2020.
Yeah, like when the packs started coming out, that's exactly when people started playing. A lot of people actually purchased basically all of the packs, which makes the game about like $100.
Yeah, and the same can be
And people are
said.
still spending.
Yeah, because the same can be said for Among Us. It's a game, mind people who do not know it, it's a game from 2017, 2018. And now it all of a sudden got a lot of popularity. It's still one of the best games of 2020. You know, so we're not exclusively looking at games released in 2020, because there is still one other VR game, and I've talked with Byte about this. Beat Saber.
Oh yeah, that one is a long time liver.
You cannot talk about some of the best games of 2020 and leave Beat Saber out.
PC version, for sure.
But Guitar Hero
PC
just
version.
wasn't enough.
Due to the infinite mods.
I mean, we also got another game in 2020, which was a whole new perspective on horror games, which is, of course, Phasmophobia.
Oh yeah. The big
I
rise
mean-
of the indies.
Yes, and I mean, it's still going strong. New maps are being released. Like, currently, we have the prison map in there. Absolutely looking stunning. It's a huge map. It's not too huge, though. It's not Asylum level. But there are still two maps being developed as we speak. And I'm really looking forward to them. Like, hell yeah, they get me back in the game.
Yeah. And then, personal favorite for, I guess, me and Byte, which we cannot forget that it actually released in 2020. And that's GTFO.
Ooh.
That game
Yes.
released in January 2020. And it had a very strong start. Yes, it has gotten a bit less interesting. Interesting is not a bad word. A bit less in the front page as it was when it launched. But still, I think it is still considered as one of the best semi-horror games of 2020.
Totally, for sure.
I've had a lot of time spent into GTFO. I think I've clocked in over 150 hours, which is for me a lot for a game that, considered everything, is... You know, I'm a variety person. I like to play more than just one game. And to still soak in 150 hours to one game, that is for me a lot in a year's time. You know, so I can't pass up on GTFO. That game is amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely on the list of games that changed 2020. And of course, now we're getting to the personal biggest. Well, this is not more the biggest games of 2020, because I think the last one we really need to give credit to, apart from what people think about it, would be, yeah, The Last of Us 2. And after that, Byte can take it away. Last of Us 2, personal opinion, not great. But that's, like I said, personal opinion. I did not
And
like
I
it.
would say that it is a fail.
I don't. I would totally disagree. I mean, as somebody who hasn't played it but watched someone play it through from start to finish, I would say it's a really pretty looking game. The storyline's okay. It is glitchy in some places, but I really don't think the game and the voice actors deserved the bad press and the death threats that frankly they received for coming up with this content. I thought it was a much better game than that.
For me, someone who has played, I mean, the game is still looking great. Like the storyline is still looking great, but I have a harder time getting into it. Like, to be honest, I haven't even finished it. Like, I tried to get myself to play and to actually start finishing the game, but it's really hard. Like,
Yeah.
for some reason, I can't get myself to it.
Yeah, and that's a problem,
That is correct.
isn't it? If it's a solo player game and people lose interest without finishing the story, that is considered a problem. And if I just look at this group of five, right? License says it's alright, but I can't continue it. Muse, Beard, and I strongly believe that the game isn't as good as we would want it to be. Byte, of course, saying that he thinks it's a good game. It boils down to this question: did this game deserve Game of the Year?
Oh.
No,
Not in the hell, no.
With
No.
games as Among Us, games as Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Fall Guys, does it deserve Game of the Year?
no.
It basically can't, but that's because the source of its, what do you call it, critics' popularity is
Oh yeah,
the whole.
it's electoral college bullshit, right?
Yeah, something like
If
that.
I look at how many people were mad at it actually winning Game of the Year, I am kind of edging towards, isn't this rigged? You know? If so many
I
people
mean-
disagree.
Please.
I think Assassin's Creed Valhalla would have had a better shot
Yeah,
than this game.
agreed. And I don't think that's the best game of the series either.
No.
But it's better, in my opinion, than Last of Us 2.
That's for sure.
Yep.
And yeah, I think the biggest one, for better or worse, Byte can take that one away.
Well, I've just had a look, and there are less than 500 people watching Last of Us 2 on Twitch at the moment. But yeah, so yeah, there's a couple of other things that I put in the list as well. Minecraft Dungeons, I don't think
Ooh.
we can ignore that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a
Um,
nice.
it was
addition.
okay. It was nice.
Like as you know, it's a roguelike with a Minecraft skin. You know, we've all got roguelites in our library that we pick up and we put down every so often.
Yeah.
And I think me and Shadow had a fortnight period where we played lots of it, and I don't think
Oh,
either of
Jesus
us have
Christ.
loaded it up since then.
And I don't think that it's a waste of time.
That's a good start too.
Like, even though we don't play it at the moment, I did enjoy it, and I don't think it's a waste of time. So yeah, fair. That's one of the big games that launched this year.
Personally, for me, as a retro kick, the next the next Streets of Rage game that came out, it didn't hit as hard as I was hoping it would do, but I still think it's quite fun. It's good to play. I played
enough.
a few hours of it at the moment. But yeah, I think that deserved a retro mention.
Yeah.
The next one, I think one of the games, like it or not, that got us all playing together. I mean, Muse aside, was Valorant.
Oh yeah,
Yes, indeed.
yeah, big release.
Like
Eh,
It's still
NFG
going
total.
strong, honestly.
Yep, NFG put a lot of hours in this year for Valorant.
Yeah, fair enough. And for a continuing game, I would then also commend Rainbow Six Siege, like I said before with League of Legends, for
for
yeah,
surviving.
not trying to become Valorant when that hype began, I guess.
Mm.
So yeah, that's a good shout. Yes, Valorant, very good launch. I see a lot of people still playing it. I think they had a very good concept and they stuck with it, and now it's working.
Now I have a question to you all. What is your thoughts on Cyberpunk?
That we're,
Oh.
we're getting to that. We're
That
getting
was
to
exactly
that.
where we were going next.
Yeah.
Exactly what we're going next. Yeah, Last of Us 2, Half-Life Alyx, Animal Crossing, Doom Eternal, Streets of Rage 4, Minecraft Dungeons, Valorant, Fall Guys, and last and possibly least, Cyberpunk 2077. One of the games that I was actively looking forward to for so fucking long, without
SMI.
wanting to go on my Diablo 4 rant just yet,
Yeah.
was such a fucking letdown.
Yeah. I think the best way people have summed up Cyberpunk is the best thing about the game was the trailer.
Yeah,
That was a pretty
Oh
good
boy.
trailer.
Yeah. If
And
that
there's
sums
that-
up the game, then you have a problem.
There's that tweet from CD Projekt Red, wasn't there, themselves saying that Cyberpunk 2077 is just going to be a meme.
Yes. Yes.
Do not give up hope. Right? Do not give up hope.
I
There was
think-
a thing called No Man's Sky. Remember?
Oh
was
no,
a
let's
thing called
let's
No
not.
Man's Sky.
Let's not.
Surprisingly,
nope.
that's having a bit of a resurgence now.
No Man's Sky has resurrected from the ashes.
Yes.
No Man's Sky is actually good now.
Yes.
From the
That's
very
like in
ugly
terms-
ashes
yes.
that it was made from.
Yes, but because why it was in Ash? Because it was a game rushed by Sony. We
Yep.
can't say the same about CD Projekt Red because
No.
they are completely independent. This time
Well,
it was basically a
supposed to be.
scheme. It is already opened and the criminal provision already started against that Polish creature. He basically hyped the game, rushed the game, and sold all his stocks 2 days before the release.
Hmm.
Perfect company director.
And I think, yeah, one of the things that I did notice a lot this year is games being resurfaced. Look at Final Fantasy VII Remake. Look at Resident Evil 3. Look at Demon Souls coming out for PS5 and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so many reduxes.
But credit where credit's due. There's actually one game from our childhood that actually got a new game, which I know fans have been waiting for a long time, which we all haven't mentioned, and that's Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time.
Oh yes. Oh
That's
fuck
good.
yes.
That game surfaced this year, and it didn't get the attention it deserved.
I mean, honestly, it got so little attention, I even forgot it was out there.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, the
All I
trailer
heard
was
about it
good
is that
shit.
it had some kind of junky controls. So that's it.
I'm just saying that as a last honorable mentions before we basically more or less move on to the next bit, unless Byte has more opinions to share on what do you think for the future of Cyberpunk.
Well, as I've been saying to a lot of you who will listen over the last month or so, that I will be playing it, but I won't be playing it yet. I think there's a few more patches and updates that are going to be coming.
Yeah.
And I've watched a shitload of content over the last couple of weeks about optimizing the game, both going through the settings and doing hex hacks and that sort of thing. I think if CD Projekt Red, take notice that is the reason why they're getting publicity at the moment, and just like the fact that the PS4 debacle basically fucked them. This game is unplayable on certain consoles at release.
Oh.
That's not a good look. 25, 30 FPS on a PS4, which is not an old console. They need to sort that shit out. And even when you're I've seen people play it in one of the latest Ryzen with a 3090 and getting 60 FPS. That's like $8,000 worth of PC, and you're getting suboptimal frame rates. It's just it's ridiculous. Obviously that's what you would expect from a top tier gaming machine of 2020. You're playing at 4K, you're playing on 144 hertz monitor, and you expect the visual fidelity and you expect the frame rates to follow on a AAA title like this, and we just didn't get it. So I'm still holding out hope that there's going to be a few more quality of life increase updates, a few more optimization updates, and then I will sit down for about 3 weeks and I'll enjoy the hell out of it. But by that point, everyone will be bored with it and they'll be like, "Oh, why is Byte streaming Cyberpunk 2077? Nobody cares."
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, point taken. I don't think the game can be fixed. But at this point, I am in the group of the best thing about the game is the trailer.
I think Keanu Reeves helped out a lot.
Yeah.
Basically,
The breathtaking creature.
Who cannot like the trailer when Keanu is in it?
So Cyberpunk does not deserve Keanu Reeves.
Okay. Moving on. And we're starting at license for this one. What are your personal favorite or best games of 2020? Oh, quickly have to go back to here.
Planet Zoo with the expansion packs that came out, because the base game was kind of, at one point you're done, you know?
Yeah.
So definitely with the expansion packs, Planet Zoo is of course one of my favorites. I mean, I even started streaming again because of that game.
Yeah.
Among Us, I mean, it was really lovely when the game brought us all back and we all started playing together, and you could play with like a bigger group. And I don't know, I mean, I still kind of stuck to League of Legends, which is horrible.
Which is actually, it shows that it still keeps up.
Yeah, I mean, shit changes, but that's okay. But I mean, yeah,
It's fine.
definitely, for me, Planet Zoo was like a huge deal. I mean, I have over 300 hours in that game because I started no-living it when I got
Thanks
new
for the follow,
expansion
Just
packs,
Dojo
and
Games.
basically, if I get
Welcome.
another expansion pack, like right now,
hope you're
I will
enjoying
start
the
playing
stream.
it again. That's how much I enjoy that
Yeah,
game.
and that's fair. So I guess those are your top picks of 2020, which is
Yeah.
good. I'll take the second shout here. For me, and I guess multiple people have noticed, one of the biggest games for me of 2020 will still be Siege. I think Siege is still a big part of 2020 for me. I'll also give mention to Final Fantasy XIV. I've thoroughly been enjoying the story. Byte has been getting into it, Pan has gotten into it. There's a lot of new people that I was able to introduce to Final Fantasy XIV in the past year. So that does bring hope for me. Recent times we've been enjoying a lot of Pummel Party, which is one of the games that I think we can all share together and all laugh within together, which brings us
Get
together
really
to
pissed off.
just bash each other's brains in. And yeah, I guess one of the games that I've just recently been hooked on, which I think deserves a bit more attention than it currently is getting, would still be Temtem, which is, for a lot of people, would say a Pokemon clone. Yes, it is in the same style as Pokemon, doesn't mean it's a clone. By any means, I think this game does quite well on its own when it actually gets more updates and it will go towards full release. How about Muse?
Favorites. No, I've been-
Your personal best of 2020, and those can be games that are out for a longer time.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of going backwards, playing all the old games again. I've had a lot of time playing the Reignited trilogy of Spyro with Kitty, which is
Oh yeah,
great.
good shit, man.
Nice.
Spyro's just good shit. And
Yeah,
Among
good
Us,
shit.
of course, is a big favorite.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And as you probably have noticed, I've spent a lot of time playing Endless Space as well.
Yeah, you had a period where you was non-stop only playing that, so yeah.
Good shit.
Every
Good
time I
stuff.
looked, it was either that or Legends of Runeterra, and they're back again.
Oh yeah. One of my friends even convinced me to play some League of Legends with him. I'm not holding strong. I'm not doing this well. Like there's some things I did miss a lot, which Cyan screaming like a madman 24/7.
Oh yeah.
The memes we got out of it was good too. Like he likes to scream when he uses his charge. Is this what passes for war? And then we were just whining about someone else. We made, is this what passes for cringe? Got a lot of use of that one. Well, besides that, I have a quick shout out to the Flash player.
Oh, rest in
Yeah.
peace.
Rest in
Rest in
pieces.
peace.
Rest in pieces.
The games that I have enjoyed through that
Oh,
thing are
man.
numerous,
When
quality, and good times.
when 2020 couldn't get any worse.
Addictinggames.com. Oh, we didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, so many Flash games, man. Lovely.
Good times.
Good times.
Yeah, that was my sense. I have paid my dues.
Okay. Bite.
Yeah, it's a tough one. There's a reason why my tagline on Twitch says I'm that guy who doesn't finish anything, because as you guys will know, I toss and turn between games, and I get really into something and then I'll just never touch it again.
Luckily, there's one thing you can finish, and that's your wife. Moving on.
Oh my!
I was
No.
just gonna say, I was starting to feel bad. I was like, oh no.
Jokes aside,
I thought this was a gaming oriented podcast. But thanks very much for that. Obviously, Final Fantasy is something that we continue to go back to. It
Yeah.
will always be a backstop, even if we're not actually actively playing. We're just
Yeah.
sat at the guild house, chilling out, messing
Exactly.
about, that sort of stuff. I enjoyed playing through Metro Last Light
Ooh, yeah.
recently this
that's
year, although that has now disappeared off of the Xbox Live Store, so I won't be playing that anymore.
Fair enough.
Yeah, not. Yeah, I can't think of anything else that pops into my head. There's a lot of games. I've got nearly 60 games installed at the moment, and
Yeah.
I can't say that I'm enjoying a lot of them.
Well,
Just
shout to
started playing-
GTFO then, I guess.
Yeah, GTFO is probably the top one there. It's something that's got me playing with you guys more. It's done well for getting me back into that kind of squad-based first-person
Yeah.
shooters.
And one shout that you keep forgetting, which I think has been at least a good month of your year, which would be Minecraft.
I did spend a lot of time playing Minecraft. Yeah, that has to be said. I don't understand how I forgot that, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. And
I don't know if I will be going back to Minecraft anytime soon,
Yeah.
though. What's been going on with the Microsoft stuff in the background,
yeah,
I figure I
yeah.
don't want another Microsoft account. I've got enough already being an IT professional.
Yeah.
Please stop with this shit.
and I think I can count for Beard for his best games of 2020 to be Elite Dangerous and Crusaders Kingdom.
It was in the list. Yeah. But I played
But yeah,
not only
Beard.
those games. There is also Enter the Gungeon that I discovered for myself, which was quite interesting. Tom Clancy Rainbow is a game that I played a lot. It was a game where I actually joined this crew at all.
Yes, let's not forget about that. That's actually where we picked up a lot of new members.
That's actually the best thing about 2020. We picked up Bid.
Oh, this is so
You-
sweet.
Let's not hear Fractal hear that.
Okay, you in fact are holding down the Rainbow Six Siege NFC team.
Okay.
You-
What
you
else
guys
did
know-
I play? Let's see.
You
Well,
also
how-
joined me and Bite on some Minecraft
Yes.
for a while.
that
So
was a fun
You joined
Yeah.
me and Ryan on some farming simulator.
Yes, and I want to continue the bloody farming simulator because I didn't pick up all my potatoes. I started and I never finished.
I mean, that's doable. We can arrange something.
And speaking of potatoes, I played a lot of Hearts of Iron. I almost completed the bloody game. Well, complete. How can I complete the Second World War? I encircled a lot of Soviets. Let's just say it. so.
yeah, and then nice iteration now to move to the next point is gaming wise the biggest letdown of 2020. Name the biggest one game for each of us that was. something that we were super excited for, and was just a game that let us down so much.
Try not to all say Cyberpunk.
No. Okay, everyone has to
You
come
not
up with options, but for me, personally, it doesn't even go to Cyberpunk, and this is kind of contradicting because I love the game. My biggest letdown is actually Final Fantasy VII Remake. Reason for it: one, they changed the game. The game is not the same as the game that I played as a kid. Second of all, the game isn't even finished. They are gonna have to release a part 2. And I do not accept that, because they did not announce it as Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1. They announced it as Final Fantasy VII Remake. Which, for me, is bad. I just don't like it. They should have been clear if it was going to be a two-parter, and they only told us that a month after the release of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is something that I'm just very annoyed by. And for me, that was a big letdown because I got into it and I wanted to play it more, and then I was like, okay, this is it, and I'm not even done with the story. So yeah, for me, that's the biggest letdown.
Can I name a game which was from 2019, which is
Well-
still a letdown for me?
Well, if you have nothing for 2020, because I know that someone's gonna name Cyberpunk, and probably...
Well,
yeah.
except Cyberpunk, because Cyberpunk is a cyber fail.
Okay, name one.
That would be the Imperator. The game that had almost the same amount of publicity, at least for me, as Cyberpunk, but had even worse start. It was a game about ancient Rome. Just remember the old good times when you played Total War Rome, the first one, the best game in the series except for the Warhammer games. All the beauty of that game, the simple mechanics that were ingenious. And instead of simple and good games, they just made a button masher where you just spent 5 different types of mana.
Yeah, no.
That was just not. This is not acceptable.
Okay, then Lyson, your biggest failure in games of 2020.
I mean, I'm pretty specific when I play a game, so I haven't been let down that much in games this year.
But you don't have a game where you were super excited for and you actually got around to playing it or seeing it and you were like, this game is just shit.
No. I mean, I just started playing Minecraft for the first time in my life, and of course that looks like shit, but the game is still amazing, so I don't know.
There are mods available. We can make it pretty for you, Lyson. Don't worry about that.
Yay! But I mean, no, I haven't really been let down that much in the gaming community. But then again, if I want to play a game because I'm poor as fuck, I will research the game for a really long time before I actually purchase something.
I know one for you that is a letdown, which you probably have forgot, but it's not a letdown because it's a bad game. It's a letdown because basically you never really got to play it. And that's, for you, I think, is The Forest.
Yeah, but that's because people dragged me into the end game.
Wait,
But-
you played Forest without me?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh my God,
we played
Ben!
Forest quite a lot without you, I'm afraid
Yeah.
to say.
Oh my goodness.
Weird. We can play the forest because
Yeah,
I
we can make a
actually
new
want to
one.
I
Good
want to
times.
start
Let's-
all over.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
start
fine.
over.
Yep, 2020.
2020 goals, that is definitely the
Savage
app for one
edition.
of the streams. Us 5,
Start.
new story in the forest.
Wait, is that a
Starting
2020 goal or a 2021?
2021, whatever the fuck. Numbers.
You know what we're talking
Okay.
about. Stop that.
Okay,
2021
then,
is just
um,
2020, but in hard mode.
Okay. Bites.
Oh
Your
my God.
biggest letdown of 2020, I think I can already tell.
I mean, so
Go ahead.
Cyberpunk 2077 is the obvious winner. So I'm going to go a bit meta actually, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I'm looking at Nvidia.
Okay.
You know the shit they pulled with the 30 series graphics cards, the promise they put out to gamers in general, and we as a community got let down. Not to mention got absolutely fucking scalped money-wise for not that much benefit, if I'm honest. And I'm looking to AMD next year to really kind of pull it out of the bag.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair shout. And then Muse, are you going between Cyberpunk or Last of Us 2?
Actually, I would actually just like to take some pot shots at something other than those because I never really cared much for Cyberpunk 2077. You know, I'm not one to buy games that when they come out, I usually see the shit show and the fires die out before I start digging for gold.
Yeah.
And the shit is still burning, so I'm in no rush.
That's a fair statement, man.
And Last of Us 2, the things you just saw about the game, some of it was just hard to fucking consume as a game. Like, fair enough, it had quality of design and stuff like that. Damn, some of it was just hard to live with. But I actually want to take a slap at Assassin's Creed Valhalla because, funnily enough, living in the Viking heart of Denmark and being very interested in Vikings and shit, they are fucking whack in that, both the trailer and the game.
That's a fair shout then for you. Yeah.
Because, man, fuck me. I like just take the first trailer. Everything there was so much where you just were thinking, what the fuck is even happening? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? How did they do this? How did they do that? It makes no sense.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
So, Assassin's Creed Valhalla for the once upon a time Assassin's Creed's historical authenticity. God.
Okay. Okay. Biggest win or surprise gaming wise 2020? And let's actually kick it off with Muse again, which is a game
fuck.
you didn't think you would enjoy this much, and you're actually just hooked on, or you think that it exceeded expectations.
Among Us. I'm just gonna take it right there. Holy shit. That's hilarious. It's just so good. A game that is so simple but really plays on complete human ingenuity for its
Yeah.
entertainment value is
And
unbelievable.
let's not forget about Among Us is the price tag is incredibly low,
Yeah.
which does propel it to, for me personally, the game of the year.
Fair.
Because I think you cannot go around Among Us anymore. There is no way you haven't heard of this game.
If not the game, then the memes.
Then, okay. Bite, your biggest surprise of 2020. What's a game you didn't think you would enjoy? Or which surpassed expectations?
I'm just going to point this out as a highlight compared to the actual game of the year. We said that the actual game of the year had less than 500 viewers on Twitch right now. Among Us has just over 64,000 viewers. Biggest surprise for me probably is Final Fantasy Online.
Okay, yeah. Because,
You know, we discussed at length my trepidation over MMORPGs. You know, my brief foray into World of Warcraft so many years ago, and absolutely hated every last minute of it. To the fact that, you know, I've still got it installed and we still go back to it on a regular basis, and do, even if it's just, you know, we do roulettes and leveling and so forth. That is a big surprise to me.
alright, yeah, I guess that counts. Like, for someone who's not really been into MMORPGs, that then really getting, well, not hooked, but keep coming back to Final Fantasy. And it does have that thing where it does keep pulling you back and pulling you back and pulling you back. So yeah, definitely up there.
Considering, you know, the last MMORPG that I put a serious amount of hours into was Star Wars Galaxies.
Yeah.
And that's what, 15 years ago.
Yeah, fair.
Which,
Okay.
you know, a long time ago.
Lyson, your biggest surprise?
For me, the game that really took me by surprise and really got me hooked on, it's an older game. I mean, I just started playing it this year. It's Ark. I mean,
Ah, yes.
like I got it. I got it from a gift, and it's been like 300 hours later.
Oh
Like,
Jesus!
for me, that's absolutely a game that really got me hooked. I mean, I love dinosaurs, and in the game, I have a big black T-Rex with like a pink saddle and a pink little X dotted on his cheek, and his name is Pookie because, yeah, I'm that kind of person. Like that game definitely got me
You know,
hooked.
I'm actually
And
surprised for you.
why?
Because I actually thought the shout would go to either Phasmophobia or to Dead by
Honestly,
Daylight.
honestly, I was doubting Phasmophobia, but then again, like currently I'm like level 200 plus in that, and I'm just waiting for the new maps.
Yeah.
And because of that, because it's taking like really long for them to develop the new maps, and I'm kind of stuck in the same pattern over and over, it doesn't scare me anymore to actually play Phasmophobia. Like I just rush in and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, bitch, come out," you know. And
Yeah, yeah.
for me, that's kind of the point where I'm like, yeah, like if
Ghosts get scared by you now.
exactly like I wanted it to be like a little more different. Like yeah, they recently added that the ghost crawl nowadays. Like yeah, that was a new surprise. But yeah, I mean, at one point, like I said, I'm level 200. I have so much money. It doesn't matter if I die every freaking round I'm going in,
Yeah.
because I'm still gonna have enough money. So the game could have been a little harder for me, and sometimes the ghost could have been a little more obvious. Like it's still a little buggy. Not every day you see the orbs that you need to
Yeah.
know what kind of ghost it is. So for me, that's why I chose to go for Arc, which is like really steady, is really nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
fair
just
enough.
love Arc.
Beard.
Well, for me, the games that I just found this year. Let's think.
Which, or even the game that's got suggested to you, or game that you got gifted where you thought, like, oh, it's gonna be okay, that actually pleasantly surprised you, you know?
Well, that would be Sea of Thieves, actually.
Ah, fair,
Yes, that
fair.
game really surprised me. I thought it would be more generic, more kind of rushed or something because it was a game supported by Microsoft. And as we all know, nothing that is made with Microsoft works well, especially Windows. And it was really surprising that that game was actually good.
Yeah, fair shout, fair shout. I think for me, my biggest surprise of 2020, um, if I just go by what I've played a lot, which I didn't think I would still be playing um, this much of, it would still be Rainbow Six Siege. Because however often I go back and I try different shooters, I just keep going back to Rainbow Six Siege. And even if it's just for a day that I want to play, or I have not played it for 2 months, I keep coming back to Siege. Because the gameplay is exciting, the gameplay is dynamic, and I just can't stop and be like, okay, I'm never gonna touch this game again, because it's too good for that for me. And
you
yeah,
kicked
it
off
is
last
one of
night.
those games where we all just can play together without being ragey. We can all just have fun and do stupid bullshit. We know it's gonna fail. We know we're not good at the game. It's about the bullshit. We can just have fun, and we don't care if the enemy team is better. So yeah, it's one of those games that I think, for me personally, has meant a lot. I've met a lot of people through Rainbow Six Siege, and also a game that I just generally enjoy playing, especially after I've not played it for a while.
Mhm.
Honestly, it gets my hands tingly just because you talk about it, and I'm like, oh, now I want to install the
Uh,
game again.
yeah, it's good.
Got him.
It's good. It's good. Yeah. Bites has a subject which he thinks is interesting to talk about as well. The gaming industry this year.
Yeah, there's just a couple of events that popped out this year that I thought were worthy of note. Being the old man of the group, there's a couple of iconic gaming characters that had reasonable birthdays this year. Pac-Man being 40 this year,
Oh, Jesus, he's so old.
No,
That's
I
such an
feel
old
old.
game.
and of course Mario being 35 this year.
Nice.
I just
So yeah, there was a couple of shout outs there. A poor one out for Kazuhisa Mashimoto, which nobody will ever have heard of, but he was the guy who created the Konami code, which I'm hoping most of you will know.
Good times.
Yeah. Good times, man.
And there was a couple of kind of tenuously controversial things that came up this year. The whole Apple Epic Fortnite bullshit.
Yeah.
And the Mixer becoming Facebook gaming.
Yeah. For me, a personal shout for this year, because now it is the year of 2021. It is the 20 years birthday of my personal favorite game of all time, which is Final Fantasy X. So for me, this year has started off on a good note, because Final Fantasy X originally released in 2001.
What makes it your favorite out of all 70 of them?
First of all, I guess the fact that it was the first Final Fantasy I owned. It's the game that helped me learn English. But also, I just am really intrigued by the story. I like the combat in that game. I think it creates a lot of strategy for me. And you have to remember, like, when I played this game, I was 8. And I still sometimes play it. So it's a game for me that has traversed for the past 20 years. And even though I'm already playing it for 20 years, I play it every year at least once through.
That's fair.
Which is not something that I can say for the other Final Fantasies. So if you ask me the exact why, there is no exact why. I just keep coming back to it. The mini games are fun, the combat is nice, the story is good. For me, the only thing that's bad you could say about the game is the voice acting. But we're talking about 2001, when voice acting just became a thing for video games en masse, for like every cutscene and every battle. So that it was bad. At that point, that wasn't considered bad. That was extraordinary. That every scene and every bit of the game was voiced.
Not to mention the level of hardware that you were playing on at the time. You know,
Yeah.
the level of voice compression to try and get all of the
And
assets.
for a PS2 game, that game looked phenomenal
Yeah.
for its time. And then those are just things that stuck with me. That it looked graphically so clean for a game from 2001. So yeah, then we're getting to the last thing that I've written down, which would be games, or what are you looking forward to in 2021? And for me personally, to kick it off, there are 4 games that I am really excited for 2021. The first of all being something which comes from the love of the game where a lot of us actually got a lot of time together in. Rainbow Six Quarantine.
Oh shit.
It's gonna be one of those games where I think I will soak a godforsaken amount of hours into.
We hope. Well, I don't want to be doing this next January and you're going to be moaning most of the stream about how much you were disappointed about that game.
Yeah. But as far as it's looking now, and the news that we're getting from it, it's gonna be a game similar to the quarantine mode we had back in the day in 2018, I believe, for Rainbow Six Siege, which was very, very nice. Then, Far Cry 6. I want to see if it's gonna be good. I didn't like Far Cry 5, but I'm hopeful. In the past, they've fixed their shit. And I think if they can do that yet again, this might be a very good game. And third on my list, out of the 4, is a game that I think Muse and I both would have an eye on, is the Dark Souls-like Mortal Shell.
Oh shit, what's the name of that again?
Yeah, where basically it's Dark Souls-like combat, but just a tad different, and it looks good. And falling into the same category as that one would be Elder Rings, which is also a game that's coming that's very Dark Souls-like. But that's actually not the last mentioned list, because I don't know the release date for Elder Ring. The last shout for me, is Hogwarts Legacy. I think that game can be very good. And I don't care what people are hating on already. The game hasn't even launched, so just calm down. You know? But those are the 4 games for me that I'm looking forward to most in 2021. If they do release. Bite?
Much like Muse, I'm still enjoying games that are like 5 years old. This is the first time I'm playing around. Again, as a lot of you have heard me moan about before, the only game I'm really looking forward to is Diablo 4 when it finally gets here.
Deep breath.
Quarantine is another one that we've discussed quite a lot, which I'm hoping that we'll be able to sink a lot of time into from a kind of multiplayer perspective. But yeah, still looking forward to some of that solo RPG action that Blizzard is famous for. But we haven't seen it since 2.
Fair enough. And Lyson?
Arc 2, of course, it's coming, boys. I gotta have it. I gotta have it. Of course, that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to. One of the other games I'm looking forward to, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, is Deathground.
Deathground.
Deathground. Yes. Basically, it's a horror survival game that you can play co-op with dinos.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Of course, I'm looking forward to that. One of the games that caught my attention was actually Overwatch 2. I don't know if I'm gonna go for it, but I mean, of course, it looks amazing. So yeah, thinking about it, I'm thinking I'm gonna be poor again soon.
It happens.
But yeah, for me, Horizon Forbidden West. I mean, I loved Horizon Zero Dawn, so I'm really gonna give that a go. But yeah, Arc 2 got me hyped. That's simply how. Yeah, that's really what I'm looking forward to. I can't wait.
Vin Diesel personally working on that game.
Yep. Yeah. Like, basically, he is one of the voice actors, but also one of the characters is modeled after him. And I mean, yeah, I've seen.
Dinosaur Drift. I already see it.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he could be in there. Like he could be a tribe leader in there.
So you want to say that he looks like a tribesman?
Yeah,
Isn't
in
he?
a good way.
I mean, we've seen him in Jumanji.
What, Vin Diesel?
No.
Oh no, that's The Rock. Sorry, wrong one. Wrong bald guy.
Wrong, really muscle.
Wrong bald guy with muscles.
But I mean, yeah, that game really. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So Muse.
And again, dinos.
Muse, any Back for Blood for you?
Back for Blood?
Yeah, the new Left 4 Dead.
Oh shit, that one. I'm looking forward to seeing what they are going to serve. I'm not really putting any expectations anywhere at that point. The one thing that I do have my sights on, I still don't think they have a release date, but there was this thing about Riot being underway with an MMO.
Tilting, yeah, that's tilting.
Fuck me, that got me hard. Damn. Like, I love the universe of Runeterra. I just despise League of Legends as a game. And like Legends of Runeterra, the card game, best shit ever. I fucking love it. Hearthstone can go pack. I mean, I don't even care anymore. But if
even though you played Hearthstone today?
I've not played Hearthstone today. Who do you think I am?
Oh no, it was Heroes, right? You were playing.
What?
Heroes of the Storm you were playing then.
Oh yeah, I'll play that. But that's luckily completely unrelated.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, they are not even comparable. League of Legends and HOTS. I mean, I've played both, and no.
Like both the tempo, the goals, the synergies, nothing of it is in the same area. It's just like, okay, 5 versus 5. There you go.
Okay.
One doesn't have the annoying fucking innkeeper.
I just have a hero, I have a talent, I know what I'm doing. I'm not buying 10,000 items.
Okay.
But that MMO, oh man, that's good.
So
I need
if
a new
that
MMO, and
releases-
it need not to be WoW. I don't want to play WoW.
So if that releases, that is your biggest looking forward to.
Yes, I'm having probably a bit too high hopes for it, but
Yeah,
that's
fair.
just how it's gonna be.
That's fair. Okay, Beard.
Well, for me, not surprising, that's gonna be Elite Dangerous. Because they're gonna turn the game from the simulator of space paralytic into an actual space combat game because they're adding space legs. Basically, you would be able to land on planets, get out of your ship, and start shooting stuff in
Yeah,
person.
alright. Yeah. Yeah, the last note I have on my notepad is a bit more heavy one, but how has everyone been doing with mental health this year? And how do you deal with it, with mental health issues?
Lots of whiskey.
Because I know I've been going through some shit. Liza's been going through some shit. A lot of us has probably been going through some shit. But yeah, how have people been handling it? Let's this time start with Bite.
Well, as I've been signed off with stress for the last sort of 6 weeks.
Hold on, Bite. I don't want to be rude and interrupt. But before this topic starts, I'm gonna go for a smoke. So just so you know, I'm the one that's
Yeah,
beeping and switching,
It's okay.
and
It's
I'll
okay.
be listening alone.
Yeah, sure.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Sure.
Do we want to take a break? Like,
No.
we've been going for an hour and a half, so
Yeah, I think this is the last subject unless people want to add more things. But that comes after this. But yeah, just go for it, I guess.
fair enough. Yeah, so I've been spending a lot of time over the last six weeks, kind of taking stock of everything. The results of which were things that I highlighted at the top of the stream. So yeah, it's been quite difficult. There's been a lot of compounding factors, as well as kind of corona, job stresses, house ownership stresses, various life stuff. It does kind of compound and get on top of you. But yeah, hoping to try and kind of look at stuff and categorize stuff a bit better, just so I have a better time kind of analyzing and deal with them next year. I find that certainly the back end of this year, there's just been so much going on. It's been hard to keep track of. So you're just kind of running from one thing to another, do a little bit here, do a little bit here, do a little bit here, and not really have any kind of like end result because it all just shit just keeps coming at you. So I'm hoping to try and simplify it down for next year and kind of put it in a more linear order and try and kind of gauge success, I suppose is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah. No, I think for sure, like that's it's okay that you now also take some time to work on you. I guess that's an important thing to say because I know before, like, you did seem kind of stressed at times where it was like, we're having games, we're having a good time, but I could just notice you're just not completely in it.
Yeah, right.
Because you had way too much that you were thinking about, and that you were always like, tomorrow is this, and I have to do this, and I have to do this, and now you are a lot more calmed down and relaxed, and you're taking time for yourself to do things that you enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the most important thing that I've noticed on you for the past month and a half is you've become more of you.
Philosophical.
But yeah, how's mental stuff been for you, Bit?
Well, for me, the largest stress that I've been going through the past year is like 11 interviews that I failed.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
at least I think that I failed them. I have no idea why I didn't pass.
You never heard back.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
disappeared.
Classic procedure.
Before one beautiful day, they called me, said they heard 3 of my previous interviews and then want to take me.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, that's just how it works, apparently.
What the fuck?
So
Well,
you constantly have to deal with the insecurity of not even knowing what you're doing wrong.
Yes, exactly. And Personally, for me, the things that kept me alive and sane mostly was whiskey and ramen.
Yeah.
I
Not the
feel you,
most
bro.
original way, but
And
Solid.
yeah, I guess video games.
yeah, you guys did keep me sane as well.
Just doing our job.
Yeah.
It's a group effort, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that counts for all of us.
You my sweet
As
potatoes.
we take the middle road, my mental health already was shit to begin with at the start of the year. I was not happy, and some people noticed. A lot of people didn't notice, but I had multiple personal mental breakdowns during the first 3-4 months of the year, and then Corona hit, which basically only made it worse. Because without going into details, because I don't think it's appropriate to go into details about specific people. The people who need to know will know. But I just got a lot of pressure on my shoulders, pressure that I could do nothing with because I was already doing more than I could, you know. I always put myself into harm's way, to say, just to make sure that I take the hits and that other people could live carefree. And at some point, I just realized I should stop neglecting myself, I guess.
Hmm.
And then I started realizing, like, what makes me happy, what do I want to do. And that's led to a decision where I, of course, broke up with my girlfriend, moved out of the house I was living with her with, and actually treating one of the things that has made me feel insecure for the longest time in my life, even though I am scared shitless of hospitals, to actually have a treatment for my armpits because I was sweating too much. I can't remember the name now of what it's called.
We'll manage. We'll manage.
Um, but yeah, having that surgery, you should say, I guess it is. Um, that was like the one of the worst 2 hours of my life, but it really, by no means compared to the stress that I was dealing with before I broke up with my girlfriend. You know, I was really in a bad place. You know, and one of the things I noticed is like the moment I got my armpits treated and I got out of the house and everything was done with my ex, I just immediately started, even though I lost my job during Corona, I started being happy. And I can't really say that there's a specific way I got through it, because I've always been the same dumb person that whenever I'm stressed or whenever something's bothering me, I'll just smile. And I won't tell people that I'm dealing with shit. I'll just smile, I'll keep playing games, and I'll act like nothing is really, you know, hitting me. But it is. Until it gets bottled up so high that I just basically break. And it's a bad thing to do, but I've not been known any other way, I guess. For me, smiling and just keeping going and playing games and having fun with my friends is the way for me to deal with it.
Hell yeah.
And now, even though it might not be the correct way in how I dealt with it, I'm feeling good now. I actually did some things that I wanted to do with my life, even though I'm getting cock-blocked by Corona. There are a lot of things that I've done lately that I'm just like, this is things that I wanted to do. And yeah, I'm just feeling happy now. So, as far as that goes, I am feeling good. But after getting my hyperhidrosis treated and everything that went down, I was in a shitty place for a while. Yes. But for me, games, laughing, friends, that's all I need. That's the recipe for me.
Good shit, me.
How about you, Muse?
Well, I've been through what do you call it? A complete mental refurbishing. Just like I've never tried something so goddamn tiring. I swear to God, like completely changing the way you work and behave and all that just to make sure you don't fail at what matters to you. Taking responsibility is a tough fucking job. That's guess a bit for me, I suppose. Like I've been doing okay. Not much changed thanks to Corona. Like, okay, funny enough, childcare studies or pedagogue, if you want to say it like that. The teachers on such a field are not very good with online teaching. Funny enough, so that was pathetic performance on that side. But luckily, like for a workplace, it's not something that's shut down. So I wasn't really in the situations where a lot of things changed because of it. It's nice. Like mostly the things that have been mental health related to me is funny enough not me, but my girlfriend, like Kitty,
Yeah.
and it's been it's just haven't been that different to be honest, which is nice.
Yeah, I guess.
But outside of that, it's been pretty okay. Like
Yeah.
the effort has paid off. Like
Yeah. And,
we
and that's
reinvented
always
what we had
a
to.
refreshing feeling, right? That it has paid off.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, if it hadn't paid off, man, I wouldn't have been a happy boy today. Fuck me, I would have been real goddamn sad.
Yeah.
But here we are, and I'm still alive.
Yeah, and I guess maybe the person that has been together with me going through the most mental shit last year, it would be Lyson,
Hello.
because a lot of shit has happened.
uh, yeah. I mean, of course, I have been dealing with my mental health issues for a longer time, and I'm starting to get better at it. I mean, I'm starting to actually talk about the issues that I have and how to deal with them. And I've actually started talking about how I actually feel instead of just getting mad all the time. um, and I started really choosing for myself more. Because at one point I actually got into an argument with the most important person that has been in my life forever, which is, of course, my mom. Uh, and at one point, the fight actually got so bad that she threatened my life, and that's why I chose like, hey, I'm currently I'm keeping contact with my family just to make sure I'm not gonna get into too much trouble yet. But I started planning to move further away from the house and really started choosing for myself. Uh, I think the worst thing I've had in the last year is, of course, the loss of Isla. Uh, Thinking about it now, as you can tell, I'm starting to cry again.
Mm.
Considering for what it's worth, I still think you've dealt with it very adequate. Like you've took the time that you had to take, and you know,
Yeah,
we all
thank
know
you.
that you've tried to get a new dog to also sort of fill the void, I should say.
Yeah.
And it's not easy because you're basically wanting to replace what you had, but
Yeah,
yeah.
and the new dog was actually quite horrible. I've also had to deal with that. I adopted a dog, and she wrecked my home, and she started growling and biting my boyfriend. And at one point, I was just like, "Yo, this is gonna be too much. I'm not gonna be able to handle this." And I know that I have a temper. I have the nickname the License Coaster because everything is always a roller coaster with me. And at one point, I just had to say, like, okay, for the dog's safety and for my own well-being, she's got to go. So I also
Yeah.
had to kind of deal with that.
Yeah, and of course, on top of everything that was already happening, um, without, of course, naming the person in question, it wasn't nice that you were pretty involved in my
Yeah,
breakup
your
as well.
breakup.
Because,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, without going too specific into details with people, there were a lot of lies and stuff going around, which we basically had to hear afterwards.
mm,
And yeah, without it even being the plan or me having asked Lyson about anything, Lyson has also decided to step back from contact with my ex, mainly because of the lies and betrayals she has done behind my back.
Yeah, and I
And
mean,
on top of just, yeah, with Lyson with the dog, that she had to bring the dog away again, basically. On top of that is then the fact that you get dragged back into things.
yeah, like most people here won't know it, but I've actually been contacted by his ex again. Where she demanded an explanation. She demanded to know why I didn't want to talk to her anymore, and I'm just like, okay, because I don't want to talk to you. Simple as that. Like, I don't need a specific reason. If I don't want to talk to people, I don't want to talk to people. Simple as that. But that also gave me a little stress back. Uh, and lately, for like the past couple of weeks, I've been basically living at my boyfriend's place. Not to be away from my own family, but because his family is actually in the risk group, and I started doing some tasks here, like going to the store and all that kind of stuff, which is amazing to be able to help them out. But then again, I'm so used to living on my own, it's also kind of weird.
I gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, I'm hanging in there, and like I said, I'm really trying to choose more for my own life and just be like, hey, I'm gonna do my own thing. And I've been distancing myself from a lot of people lately.
Yeah.
That's my way of coping with my problems for some reason.
Yeah, everyone has a different way of going about things. I guess that's
Yeah,
the.
I mean, I think one of the lowest points that I actually had when Isla, of course, was still around is where I actually had to start begging for food.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still remember that day. I bet Bite does as well. That's one of the lowest points I actually hit last year.
Yeah. I think I got a bit of wind of it when it happened.
Yeah,
We kept a bit on the down low, of course, because at the same time you don't want to worry people. Like
yeah,
that's the thing.
that's kind of my way of dealing with it as well. Yeah. I mean, someone, I'm not gonna name names, but someone once told me that I'm basically always drama, and because of that, I don't want to really go to people anymore and be like, hey, this and that is going on. So yeah, I tend to really distance myself nowadays.
Yeah. I have to say you've come a long way since I've met you. That is something that I will say, because of course I know Muse here probably the longest, and Muse and I have always basically had just a connection of like we have helped people in the past together. People that we actually don't really hang out with anymore. But it's always nice to see people have growth, and the same goes for like Bytes for the time
Question: Is
that
it
I've met
me or
him.
is Shadow lagging?
That's you.
Okay, it's me.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's just very important to note that there has been growth. I think Byte has had growth in the past month and a half, ever since he decided to take more time for himself. And at the same time, I think Lyson has shown a lot of growth, because if I'm just thinking back, like if at the point that I've met Lyson, something would have happened to Ayla, I think things would have gone a bit differently. I think she would have just completely gone shut and talked to no one anymore. And just the fact that she did inform people outside of her family, you know?
Yeah. But then again, who did I inform? I informed you, and by them, pretty much that was it.
Yeah, but still, you did. That's the
Yeah.
thing what I mean. Like, there is still growth. Because you've learned that there are people that you can trust.
Mhm.
And that is still a bit of growth.
There we go. Back.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Let's face it, it's all about the doggos, right?
Yeah.
Man, losing doggos or having to say goodbye to them, man, that's
Hurts.
man. I just can't imagine. Sometimes things can be so harsh, so unforgiving. But we're also here, yet for another attempt at 2020 Part 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
And I do hope that everyone stays safe. I hope that everyone will be safe. And yeah. Is there anyone else that has something they want to talk about before we close this down?
Well, we cleared almost everything that we wanted to. So.
Yeah, but I'm asking if there's additional things that has come into your head or popped up, or mentions that you forgot before.
Shout out to memes to keep the mental health of the gamers alive.
Well, fun thing I guess to look forward to. Me and Byte have been thinking of setting up a website for NFG, which is most of you know the gaming crew that we kind of have. So that would be a nice thing, and hopefully that also means that next year we can maybe look into setting up a merch line. So that would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm looking into an editor for the YouTubes, so that we can have some content on there as well, either on a shared NFG channel or on my own channel and Bytes. So that would be kind of interesting. And I'm currently having talks with an artist to let a logo be made for NFG.
Ooh.
And if all things go the way that they are now, hopefully during summertime I can maybe hold a charity event. So that are things that I'm also on top of everything looking forward to for 2021, because yeah, would be nice to get everything going, and for me personally to feel like I am doing all that I can for myself and for others.
Yeah, I want to be in a situation whereby I can kind of give back to the community. Like I have such lots of appreciation, respect for you guys for, you know, just like always being there. You know, there's always somebody in the group, regardless of the time, that I can just kind of chat to, whether it's just text or we can jump into voice, or if it's just a case of like, let's just jump into a game, play some games. I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, mate.
Yeah, I think that's at least good goals for 2021. Let's make it better than 2020, even though we do, apart from all the corona and business and all the negatives, I'm still very thankful for meeting all of you that I haven't met before 2020, and of course people before 2020 as well. And to be able to play as much games with you guys as we've done, and to have so many laughs and good times and things that I will remember when I'm feeling down and when I want to feel happy, that I have people that I can reach out to. So yeah, I am very thankful for that, and I do appreciate everyone for sticking by me and listening to my dumb shit over and over, and all the discussions we have, even though they're not always, you know, productive, like every fucking GTFO discussion me and Muse have, because we have different strategies. I do appreciate that
man.
still. You know. So yeah, I'm thankful for everyone for sticking with me and being here, and yeah, not leaving me behind at any point and at any given time.
Hey, no problem, dude.
And yeah,
NFG.
same time next month.
Is it?
Yeah.
See you.
Do we have anything that we want to shout out about what we're going to talk about for the next podcast? Has that been thought about yet? Maybe?
What are things we would like to have more info on or talk about for the next time? Yeah.
It's okay.
There it is.
Good question.
There it is.
I'll note it down.
So obviously, like we'll be talking about the games that we're playing, and things that we're looking forward to. News about NFG generally, like
Yeah.
charity streams, tournaments that we might want to set up,
Yeah.
website
Yeah,
progress.
I do want to set up
completely forgot
tournaments.
something.
Yeah.
I completely forgot something that is good that happened to me in 2020,
Yeah.
and it's gonna happen to me in 2021. I'm gonna become an aunt.
Nice.
Oh,
yeah.
my.
That's very true.
My
That's very
sister
true.
is pregnant. The baby is expected in May,
So much for
and
not
it's
seeing
a little
family.
boy.
Nice.
So much for not having contact with your family ever again.
Yeah, but no, I mean, basically,
Just the cool ones.
yeah, I mean, the little kid can't help it. He can't miss his cool aunt, I gotta be there.
I guess I can jump on that wagon too. It was in early September I became an uncle, or rather,
Woo!
it's almost kind of like she's just my girlfriend, but still counts.
Yeah.
Her
Congratulations!
older brother got a little boy named after one
You.
of the good old Danish kings, Valdemar.
Huh. So no Swedish?
Shut the hell. Disgusting.
No. Yeah, next time I wanna see if we can get into charity, NFG, seeing what's ahead of us, what games we're playing. And how is life treating you for the past month at that point? Because there's lots of exciting things happening, and
There's a lot of license coasters going around.
like always, yes.
For sure.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone is experiencing a license coaster.
Oh yeah, I've for years now I've referred to it as a sine wave because everyone's life kind of oscillates on that frequency. You're down and you're up and you're down and you're up and yeah.
Get down with the sickness.
I mean,
Get down.
the story of this year: get down with the sickness.
oh boy.
Yeah. No, it's been fun. I will end the stream on that note. I will stay in the chat for a little minute longer. Thanks everyone for watching. It's been a good stream today. I hope you all enjoyed it, even though it's been some harder subjects and some lighter subjects. I do hope you all enjoy. And I'll see you all next time on the stream, which will probably be on Monday. And the podcast will continue on a monthly basis on the first of every month. We're going to try at least to do it on the first of every month. And thanks for all the support. Thanks for all the new follows that came in. Thanks for everyone watching. And I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.